What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Peddlers MN video. In today's video, we're going to be wrapping a bike frame in vinyl. Alright, so I'm just going to go right into it. We're going to do a straight up time lapse of me wrapping the bike, and then I can give you guys some details on how I feel about how the process turned out, and if it's actually worth doing. right, so there we have it. The bike is wrapped. If you ask me, I think it looks pretty good. But I think there's a bigger, more important question to be answered from me wrapping this bike frame, and that is, would I do this again? Honestly, I'm going to answer no, and here's why. You probably gathered from the time lapse that I did this over the course of a few days, and that's because this was an extremely time-consuming process. It took me about 8 hours to do, and that's like the average person's work day. So that's not something that I want to do anytime I want to change the look of a bike. Now, painting is a pretty time-consuming process as well, especially when you focus on the sanding. That's probably the biggest part about it. But when I've painted bikes in the past, after the point of sanding, it's generally a process of like laying down a coat or two and then waiting. So whilst it might take you 8 hours or 12 hours to paint that bike frame, you're not going to be physically painting it the entire time that it's being painted. Whereas when you're wrapping this bike, it was already a time-lapse GoPro video, and then I sped that up. It literally took me 8 hours. It was heat gun to work out a minute detail, then heat gun again in a different spot to work out another minute detail. I never actually made a lot of progress in a small amount of time. It was long, tedious, millimeter by millimeter, getting it right slowly down the tubing. And so I think because of that, I don't really want to do that again. I think it'd be a lot smarter for me to just get better at painting bikes, and I think it'd be a lot more efficient. I could paint multiple bikes at once, but I can't really wrap multiple bikes at once. So I think from a time perspective, that is kind of out the door. I think the only other factor that would determine if this is something worth doing for you is just the easiness slash lack of mess. I wouldn't say that getting a good finish on this bike was easy with the vinyl, but once you figure out how to work the vinyl, you can kind of speed up the process a little bit, and you can kind of ensure that like the rest of the wrap job is going to be pretty decent. Like, it definitely takes some trial and error to get good at messing with vinyl, but once you understand how the vinyl you're working with works, you can progress and at least have consistency throughout the entire frame. Another big reason, and I will show you guys this in the future, I still have to upload the build for this bike, where in that video you can kind of get a better look at the frame. But the bike has been assembled since maybe June or July, and since then I've put about 800 miles on it. A lot of it's been mountain biking, so it's had rocks thrown up at it. I've accidentally, brushed it into trees and things because I was a pretty novice mountain biker at the beginning of the year. And then probably the biggest thing that has led to this issue that I'm having with it now, 800 miles in, is throwing it on trunk bike racks with other bikes where pedals can potentially hit it or handlebars can potentially hit it. Some of the vinyl has started to not necessarily peel off, but been gouged from certain events that occurred to the bike. And I'm personally just getting sick of it starting to become more spotty and the under silver color starting to pop through. So I'm honestly gonna probably remove the vinyl here in the next week or two. So if you're strictly riding on the road, not really putting your bike on racks with other bikes where it could potentially get dinged, and if you're confident that you won't crash, then like wrapping a bike in vinyl is probably just fine. But I feel like the patches of vinyl peeling off rather than a simple scratch on a bike frame is a lot more annoying to look at. And so because of that, I'm pretty much done with this wrap. So that's me wrapping a bike, and those are my opinions on it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe. If you want to see another video, just click, I don't know, right there. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.